Oh, are we going here? This is my this is my standard when we start recording stuff. I have to ask Lindsay like 3 or 4 times. I'm like, "Is this on?" She'd be like, "Yeah." I'd be like, "No, is it on? Is it like really on?"
Tap, 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 microphone. Yep.
She's like, "You're so dumb." I'm like, "I know. I just can't stop it." Okay. So, man, welcome to us. This is Parkview Student Ministry. This is what we do. This you saw kind of, I would say, kind of more the fun side of it, right? And then I think we get into the best part of it. So we like to. I'm pretty chill. So a lot of the times the stuff that we do has been fairly chill. We kind of we're doing a bunch of like group team games. And then just over COVID, just a lot of kids weren't really, that wasn't their jam. It wasn't really. So we'll typically, things that we didn't do today that we normally do are like, we take the chairs down in the gym. And like we have basketballs out there. And there are some kids that will go play basketball. And we just kind of do a little more of just kind of the chill, relax sort of thing. But then we get into this particular part and we'll do some Jesus and that sort of stuff. So that's just kind of the general flow. I just wanted to make you sure that you guys know that like it's not like game time and now they're just in there just hanging out and we're here. So Parkview Student Ministry. If you go to the front part of that particular sheet, generally speaking, right? This is every ministry that you will ever be a part of is basically some idea of this. Is we want to equip and encourage the students that come through our doors, that we get to meet out in school or have on Bible studies and that. We want to encourage them to love God, love Jesus with everything that they've got, to then love their neighbors, love their students, fellow students, love the people that they meet, okay, and then finally to go and make disciples. Dave Foster, who did youth ministry for a really long time, would tell you, for him personally, one of his big markers of like whether a kid will stay a Christian as they go on in life, which is kind of like, I hope everybody's goal here, is whether or not they lead another student to Jesus. If they've taken that time to share their faith, to walk with somebody through kind of the life changes that happen after that's kind of the big thing. So ultimately, we're trying to build that, right? The foundation is love God, right? Because he died for you, he loves you, he cares for you, right? All of that sort of stuff, we want to reciprocate that love to him with everything that we've got. We want to meditate on Jesus and who he is and what that means. We want to learn about the Bible and figure all that sort of stuff out. We don't want to press on the just live a moral life. I wish I had my hat on. I coach football at Clear Creek Amana for freshmen. So if you ever have kids who want to play football and want to transfer to Clear Creek, I'll be there. That's my little plug. I always say that. I think so at the high school. I think they still can. But anyways, at the elementary school, you can only send your kids to Oxford. I know because Marshall. Anyways, and so then we want, right, after they really focus in on God, we want to really kind of really hone them in on that. Then we want them to start taking that love and giving it to other people and like showing that and the way that works and that becomes the all sort of like, if I love God, then how does that kind of blossom out of my life? How does that kind of transform my interactions from everyday sort of thing? And then the last, right, is as we start to have those conversations, do those sorts of things, eventually, hopefully that those kind of conversations will turn into, okay, so you care about me so much and you're here for me all the time. Why are you like this? That's kind of the conversation, right? It's not necessarily teaching evangelism where we're like, hey, go to the Ped Mall. And I know there are a bunch of college students, and I know you're in 7th grade, but I'll teach you how to kind of overcome some objections, and we'll go out there and you'll just have spiritual conversation. It's not necessarily that. That's not any kind of the evangelism we're going to push. We don't want that. What we really want is that, like, be like someone who loves God and loves others, and then from that have those conversations. Right? Whether it's around a bonfire, we do student connects, and that we like bonfires. I like burning stuff. I can't help it. Sorry. Or whether it's an early morning Bible study or a late night sort of event that we do. That hopefully that those kind of conversations come up in places that aren't just here at church. So that's kind of our purpose, and so maybe I should back it up just a little bit because. I should tell you a little bit about who I am, right? You guys probably want to know me a little bit. So I'm Mike DeWard. I would call this place my home. My parents, we went to Trinity. It was a Reformed church in Iowa City until I was in 5th grade. And it closed its doors, and we came here, and we've never really left. And so my parents actually go to North Campus. I grew up here. I did the junior high ministry when it was so wonderfully titled Get a Life. Yep, I know. That we had the worst shirts ever. It was this like poop brown, the awful brown, and then like a world. I don't understand any part of it, but I remember those shirts. And then I was here for Student Impact, and some of you guys were around when I was in high school, and that's a little bit disconcerting that some of my former leaders are here now as parents. And so I went away, and I would say like one of the things that I really learned while I was at Central, I attended Central College. I graduated from Central College with the ever wonderful German Studies degree. That's what everybody wants to graduate from Central with. I get it. It makes a lot of sense. But what I learned while I was there, and this is the truest thing, is that the only time I've ever really been like growing in my faith and really being like challenged and that sort of stuff is when I was involved in ministry, right? I would read my Bible, I would do this sort of stuff, but like the time where I really experienced a lot of growth. And so when my wife and I, who I met here, got married, we came back. That was one of the things I wanted to do. So I started as a part-time, just 20 hours assistant in the junior high ministry and did all that. And then I came back about 4 years ago. So I will be gone for like 2 weeks, anytime between whenever Heather goes into labor or June 1st, where they make her go into labor. So my wife is Heather. She's pregnant with twins. So we're going to live that life for a little bit. I have 3 other ones because twins aren't just enough. I have Marshall, who's going to be 6, Lark, who is 3, and Corbin, who is 19 months. I got those right, and I know that Corbin is right because Heather said it last night. And that's how I know that. So, right. No matter what, for a period of time, I will have 5 kids under 6. I know. I know. I don't know what I'm doing either. Okay, so that's me. I'm kind of in charge of this whole thing. So your kids are going to get a little thank you for coming back. That'll have a little bit of note with my phone number, with Sarah's phone number, and with the East Campus director, Ronnie. Ronnie Smith is our East Campus guy. He runs all of that sort of stuff. So if you've heard of The Spot or Donuts and Jesus, that's his sort of deal. What we do here is our Sunday nights, and now that COVID's kind of gone and people are starting to come back, we'll probably start to do some Sunday morning stuff. But before I get into what we do and all that sort of stuff, I'd like to introduce to you Sarah Eliason.
Trade spots.
If we can, I'm not going to sit down. I'm just going to awkwardly stand right.
That's totally fine. Yeah, because I want to be in front of this and wave at imaginary people who can't see me quite yet. I'm Sarah. Nice to meet you guys. I am kind of the female aspect of PSM. So the young ladies, J-High through high school, I really want to kind of just really form relationships with them, disciple them, Bible studies with them, kind of, oversee the small groups and stuff that happen on Sunday nights and really just head forward with that, but then also aid in going over everything as well. And then I should also just introduce myself as well. So I just graduated literally a week or 2 ago from the university, so I'm a little bit of a baby, I know. But so it's amazing. 4 years here at the university was really awesome. I started volunteering with Parkview Student Ministries as a leader, like a layperson, 2 years ago, or maybe a little bit more.
2.5, almost 3.
Yep. And I didn't grow up in a Christian home. My parents are still not Christian. I don't think very many people in my family are Christian. In fact, probably only one person. I got plugged into a campus ministry at college, and the rest is history. Gave my life to Christ, started volunteering here, and then ever since just really been full forward into ministry. My major was in health and human physiology, so not exactly the same. I had a minor in global health too, so I'm a STEM kind of nerd at heart. But I really, so I'll be here full time, working with the ministry and really just getting after it. I really want to help foster this environment to be a place where your kids can encounter Jesus and just be filled with the Spirit and meet people, adult leaders, and us who are also just so in love with Jesus and want to encourage that in their lives as they move forward. Because, I don't know. I was around kids who weren't when I was their age, and so, it's like I want to give my life to this kind of stuff. So that's kind of me. I think that's pretty much as I can add.
That's pretty good. We really value, I think, here the idea that if you have girls, they're just not going to tell me the same things they might tell Sarah, right? They're not going to be as comfortable. I've watched my wife give birth 3 times. We did the Bradley Method class, which is awful. Ask me about it. I'll tell horror stories. It's a fine class. I'm not saying it's bad. I'm just saying we watched a lot of videos. I can't unsee anything that I have seen. So there's not a lot that, my point is there's not a lot that's going to, I'm like, oh, no, I can't believe that you would ever say that thing or whatever. I worked in a school. I coach football. I've been in a locker room. There's not a lot. But the truth is your junior high girls, your high school girls, they're just, look, I'm 34 and I'm a male. It's just not the same. So we really feel like it's really important to have a female presence within the ministry who's here to handle, to be that kind of case in point. I'm going to know most of the stuff. We'll talk about all of it, but it is one of those things of she's going to be a really great resource for you guys to just hey, what's going on here and that sort of stuff. So that's us. Okay, so the plan, and I don't want to bore anybody and I don't want to read. So we've got, so the church itself is going through what's called the Vine Project, and so these are the 4 E's. It's super fun. Everybody loves all of different acronyms and letter usage and all of that. Our PSM, Parkview Student Ministries, we love it. It's great. So the 4 E's, engage. And this is, we want to engage with students who don't know Jesus. And the way you engage with people is you don't do stuff just here. I'd say in a lot of ways we've kind of operated in that with COVID world just because of all of the sort of what I would say kind of restrictions, and so we've been really limited in the things that we've been able to do. And so what you're going to see is we're going to try and get to this point where every other Friday night we're meeting somewhere that isn't here, that kids can invite their friends to. It's not going to look like here. If you're in the community group sort of vernacular, it's your third place. It's that place where it's safe to come and you're not necessarily, we're not going to be hey, we're going to talk about Jesus now. We'll talk about Jesus. We're just not going to be all right, everybody stop, listen. Okay, I got a 15-minute little sermon about something from the Bible. It'll just be hey, we like Jesus. That's why we're here. What are you guys doing on a Sunday night? So we're trying to engage. So that's our Friday Night Connect. So these are things we like to light stuff on fire in an appropriate way. So in a fire pit, we don't put extra stuff in there. I have to say that. Mike will, though. But anyways, so we'll do that. Things that they've done are go-karting, or we'll try and find some fun extra, just kind of get together, create some memories together, that sort of stuff. And then, of course, we'll have student-planned hangouts. So this is something that hasn't quite really gotten there yet. It's been something we've been, I've pushed since I've gotten here, but we would love to have student-planned sort of things. I can plan a really kick-butt junior high sort of event. I know that about myself because that's my wheelhouse. But the kids doing individual things with their friends is always going to be far more effective ministry than Mike planning something. And that's just the truth. Because their friends are going to come to stuff that they plan. So if they're I want to light stuff on fire at my house, and I want to invite all my friends, let's do that. We can find adults to start to create relationships. It's great. We would love to partner with your students. They need to be doing ministry. We all need to be doing ministry together. If you guys are open to that, interested, please let me know. We'd love to know that. We'd love to do that. Then we've got our evangelize, which are the 2 things, Sunday evenings and the spot. So this is, I won't ever tell you that we don't go deep. We will go deep. But this is what it is. We have kids from all over, different age groups and levels of kind of understanding of who Jesus is and what he's doing. And so there's always going to be some of that where we're probably not going as deep as we would in a Bible study. I have a Bible study on Tuesday morning with freshman boys, and we talk a lot about a lot of different things, which is kind of the way that it has to be. The best way to go deep is in those smaller groups to really dig into what God is teaching us. And so one of the things that we really want to push, we want everybody here, all of your students, my number in my head is 75% of the students who come here on a Sunday night are in a Bible study. That hasn't happened since I've been here, but that's the number in my head that's always operated. And if you want to know the real, so we have the established, it's Bible studies, it's that sort of thing. It's on there, it's the next line down. But the idea is this. So sort of a progression. A kid shows up on a Friday night, their friend invites them to a bonfire or whatever. We have the fire. They're like, wow, these guys are kind of fun, and this seems kind of cool. And we're like, okay, well, we do this thing on Sunday nights often. Why don't you come? They come, they hear about Jesus. They hear about what he's done and what that means for us and all that sort of stuff. And they start to ask questions. Maybe they get to know and they know Jesus finally. And then we're like, okay, so now you plug yourself into a Bible study. We want you to go deeper now. And so they get plugged into a Bible study. And these are, we want our adult volunteers, or we always need more adults who are available to lead Bible studies. So if that's something you would ever be interested in, shameless plug, boom. Which I understand, we're all busy. I mean, I coach football and all that sort of stuff, so I get it. And so here we have this Bible study, and that, for me, was such a big thing in high school, was having 3 or 4 different guys that I got to do life with every week. With an adult volunteer, his name is Aaron Goodrich. He's a super awesome dude. He's a doctor down in Florida for the Air Force. And that dude just poured into me. And then I had 3 or 4 really good friends. Colin Bachman, Ben Clark, that were just around me all the time. Chris Rager, that just they went to school with me. They were in football. They did all this sort of stuff with us. And so we kind of always had this sort of accountability together all the time because we saw each other. And I went to West High. I graduated from Iowa City West and graduated with 400 people. So it was really nice to have 3 dudes in my age group that I saw in class and all that sort of stuff. So that's why we do that. The spot is the East Campus Ministry. It is really hard on that, trying to evangelize. It's big. We want to reach that neighborhood specifically. Central Campus is a little bit we have a little bit more of North Campus, and we're toying around what it means to kind of have that all together. Do we do some stuff up there and come down here? We'll finalize that by the time the summer is over. And try and figure out kind of what that looks like for that. Hopefully, if you're a North Liberty family, that is exciting and not scary. If you're kind of more in the Iowa City area, I hope it's, again, more interesting than it is scary. But it's one of those things that we're looking. So I call them 3 Fs. Okay, this is another football thing. I'm sorry. I do lots of football stuff. I'm really sorry about that. 3 Fs of football typically are faith, family, and football. And they go in that order, but that doesn't work here, and I don't like that anyways. So we do fun, food, and Jesus. And I think it's funny, and so I say it all the time. The kids think I'm dumb, and I don't necessarily disagree with it all the time. Either the F is not there or it's silent. I don't know. Anyways, so that's what we do. That's who we are and what we do. So then we get this established. We want to get them in Bible studies. We do. We want to get one. Wherever kids are, want to have one. The thing is, right, if you're a student who lives out in Tiffin, way far Tiffin, right, the realistic answer is you're going to probably need to get some guys, or we can start something with just you, a little discipleship time, and then build from that where you start to invite your friends into that event. So it's hey, I meet with, Ebony, and we study the Bible, we read the Bible. What if you came and showed up and we did this? This is kind of how most of our Bible studies worked. In fact, one of them was a dad contacted me and was hey, I just really want my son to get into a small group, something like that. What do you think we can do? And I was you just give me a time and we'll go. And that's what happened. And so then I started meeting with that guy, and he brought 2 of his friends, and those friends brought 2 of their friends, and then that group went for a while until, And so that it's the same thing that happens with my Tuesday morning Bible study. And again, I can't do 45 Bible studies. I wish I could. I would if I could. I promise you that. But the best answer is we need adult volunteers. We need people who are willing and able, who love kids, enough that they're willing to do that sort of stuff. Love Jesus and then tolerate students. Eventually, you will like them. I almost guarantee that across all the board. If you love Jesus and you're willing to tolerate being around junior high or high school age kids, eventually you'll be like, these guys are fun, or these ladies are really fun, or wow. Anyways, so there's that. So we got that. I want to be very clear, discipleship time. If an adult volunteer approaches your student, the way that this should go, okay, so they should contact you first. We want you to know. I would tell all of our adult volunteers, it's one of the things that they need to know. They should contact you first. The second is we want to meet in public places. Okay, that's just the truth. We don't want to meet at our house. I have a bunch of kids around all the time, whatever, but all of my discipleship stuff, I want to meet at a coffee shop. I want to meet at Casa Tequila or Casa Azul or all the different houses. I love Mexican restaurants. It's one of my vices as a person. My staff gets a little frustrated because anytime we go out to eat, I'm like, it's one of those places, jalapeno or any of that sort of stuff. So I just want to be very clear about that. We will and could potentially do some overnight stuff. We have a waiver to sign that we've gone through. We want to make sure that you guys know what's happening, what's going to happen, all of that sort of stuff. We want to be above board all the time. If you are ever uncomfortable with anything, please contact me. It doesn't matter. I'm not going to be offended. I'm not going to be like, how dare you be uncomfortable with whatever this is happening. I want to know about it because I want to know so I can figure out what's going on and I can, we can take care of stuff. If anything is happening at all, we want to be very clear, very quick, and we want to know what's going on. We typically, if we're going to drive a student around, we try really hard to get it's the rule of 3, right? We want to have either 2 students to 1 adult or 2 adults to 1 student or more. More is always better, right? More eyes on a situation, the easier it is. And so that's kind of what we do. Are there times where we will have to transport students one-on-one? Yeah, sometimes. The thing is, we want to make sure that we know when people are leaving, so make sure you tell them, hey, let me know when you're leaving, and that way you know roughly. Hey, if I'm leaving East Campus, okay, on a Wednesday night, and I'm bringing a student home, and I've got 3 students, I'll probably contact, and I'll say, hey, we're on our way, and I got a couple of students, we'll be back at this time, or we should be there, and then that'll happen. The other thing that we try and do as a group, especially staff, is we will FaceTime each other to try and make sure that we have that rule of 3, because we want to always be above board, always, always, always. That's just a thing for us. Yeah. Then our last is equip, leadership team. Okay, we're going to shut leadership team down for the summer. We understand everybody's busy. We get it, all of that sort of stuff. But our leadership team is that sort of group. We really want to start, so I have on here. We want to teach them deeper theology sort of stuff. We want to give them apologetics. We want them to be able to give and articulate a defense for their faith. And the last thing, we want them to be a group that makes disciples. It's a big part of what we do. It's a big part of what we're going to do. It'll be combined campuses. It's probably going to be Monday nights. Which I understand athletes and some sort of band, sort of performing arts stuff, it can cause some ruckus and all of that. But what I can tell you now, having been to it, is Wednesday nights are no longer as sacred as they used to be, and Sunday nights are definitely not as sacred as they used to be.
Is it open to all grades?
All grades. If your student wants to do it, we want them there. If you want your student to do it and they don't, I would ask that you not pressure them into doing it. We've had that happen in the past. It can be fine. Typically, it means that I get frustrated, they get frustrated because they don't really want to be there, and I want them to take steps. And so then we get into this weird, what are you doing here? And they're like, Mom made me. And I'm like, great. So just what we just ask is, if you think they're ready, we would love for them. There are lots of people that probably just need a push. You can say, hey, have you ever thought about doing the leadership team? We'd love to take you, and just leave it. If they want to do it, we have a little thing to fill out, a job description of what they will do and that sort of stuff, and we'll call it good. Then probably lastly, the key dates. So June 6th, that is not next Sunday, but the Sunday after. I won't be here, I almost guarantee it. Once we make it to tomorrow, I'm taking 2 weeks of hanging out with all of my 5 children and my wife after she gives birth. It's going to be crazy. I don't know what's going to happen. But the team that I have, Rhonda is doing a great job helping out. Sarah is doing a great job. Lindsay and Josh are going to be here, and we're going to run a really fun comedy night. So first, you guys all come. Have fun. That's the best thing you can do for us is you guys come. We will have childcare. All of your kids can sign up to help. So if they are, going into junior high and up, they can sign up to help. And the 2 places they can do it are they can do childcare or they can help us sell food and that sort of stuff. So that's kind of the second thing. So the first one is you guys come. And then the second thing, and just have fun. Don't worry about donating or whatever. It is a fundraiser to get kids to camp. That is what we want to do. That's what we desire to do. Okay? But if you guys just come and if we just have fun, that's really what we want to do the most, is we want to create an environment where we're having fun all together and knowing that we are a family in Christ and doing that together. And so that would just be really helpful, a lot of fun, hopefully. I said I'm going on Facebook, and so just speaking on that, then camp. So we have Camp Generate, and this wasn't my first choice. It wasn't my second choice. It was my third choice. God bless COVID. And so originally it was scheduled to be at Wheaton College, 3 hours away. Everybody feels comfortable about that. It's 3 hours away. We probably make that drive every often as families, whatever. Okay, and then it was like, oh, that's not going to work because Wheaton has weird COVID rules, and they do. They went way far one way, and that's fine for them. It didn't sound fun. I wouldn't have gone to school there that year, but whatever. So Generate was like, we can't do that. So they were like, how about, you guys could go to the camp in Lake of the Ozarks. It's 5 hours away. And we all think, wow, 5 hours. That's not I don't necessarily want to make anybody ride with my son for more than an hour. But okay, you're like, maybe we could do that. Well, that camp went under, and so there's no camp there. So by the end of it, I will say the best part about this is it is the last week of July, which is a dead week for all sports. No sport, school-wise, I don't think anything can happen in the school, actually. I don't even think performing arts can do anything. Your kid can't set foot in a school for that week. So there's nothing, we're not infringing on anybody except for maybe your own personal vacations, which I'm not going to fight you about that. But if your kid is like, hey, I've got volleyball or I've got baseball or whatever, it has to be not school. Anyways, they should come. We'd love to have them. We'll have about 7 to 8 adults going with us at some level, shape, or form. We'll have people around. It's a college campus. It's really nice. I've been there once. It's like on the border of like Tennessee and Georgia. It's on Lookout Mountain, and it's really wonderful. We're going to do the full camp experience. So we're not doing like serve, they have a bunch of different options. We're just going to do, they run a really tight ship there with Generate. We really like them. And they do a really good job. And most of the people, we took a group of 50 2 years ago. And I would say 12 out of those 50 kind of either committed their life to Christ or recommitted their life to Christ while they were there. And then that is a really good launch point for the friend groups that you have. We will try, literally I've got 30 spots right now, 12 of so are taken. And if you guys want to send your kids, I'll buy more spots. I'll figure out how to get more kids down there. That's my preference. We think it's such an important thing, and that's why we have those two things. So on the back, we have the calendar. Okay, the one thing I didn't talk about is the nest. Okay, the nest is just simply what we've done while kids have been online is we've opened the church. Technically, we did it at 1055 First in East Campus, but the boys were too obnoxious on the Xbox when they were playing when they weren't in school. And so the guys, people on either side, were complaining to Doug Frank. And I wish it wasn't that way, but I guess when you're scoring Madden, you got to get up and yell at everybody. I get it. And so we moved it here. And so what that time is, at least, so for the first 2 weeks of June, it's 9 to 4. just the whole day. Like if they're online, they do school, like we watch them, make sure that they're on class and doing that, and then we make sure that they're getting their schoolwork done and all that sort of stuff, and then whatever. Once school is over, we're just going to kind of cut it down to about 4 hours. I'm here. Those are the hours I will be here physically every week, or Sarah, somebody will be here during those. We'll do it in room 103. What? I'll be here in June. If she gives birth on the 1st, I'll be back by the 16th.
Someone will be here most of the day.
Yeah, somebody will be here, whether it's Josh or whatever. If your kid needs a ride, like you can't, we will work and we'll try and get that done and do all that sort of stuff. And that's just kind of hang out. I'll bring my Xbox. We'll have the Switch. We'll just hang out. We'll get the gym ready, and we have lots of guys who like to play basketball there and that sort of stuff. And that's just a nice kind of fun. Some of you guys, I love my kids, but man, sometimes 4 hours go play some games with somebody else. It's nice. So we just thought we would do that just as kind of a fun thing. It's fun for us. It's fun for me. Yeah, typically we do food. And then the last, we have all of the weeks that we are on for Sunday nights. We will be here all of those weeks. We will get a new calendar out in August, early August, or late July, somewhere in there, so that you'll have it. And we'll have it for the entire fall semester. Okay, and then we'll get one out for the spring semester when we get closer to that. Any questions? And I'm ready and willing to answer any of them. Junior high and up, please. Although I'll be honest, I will be honest. If it's more helpful, that like we can provide a pretty wide range of that sort of stuff. So if you have a student or that, or like it's easier if I drop off 2 of my kids and that sort of stuff, and one is in 7th grade and the other's like in 5th. Again, we don't check anybody's IDs as they walk in for Sunday nights. Our preference is we'd like to just take 7th to 12th graders. But if there's a 6th grader who shows up, I'm not like, you go to Longfellow, you leave. You get out of here, you Longfellow kid. No, we want everybody who wants to be here to be here. And I just think that's kind of who I am as a person. I'm pretty laid back, so like I want anybody who wants to be here to do the things and do that, to be able to engage with us and us to engage with them. And quite honestly, if I'm just like want to be real honest here about this, is I want to help you guys in whatever way I can. Like just anyway. And I know that's true of Sarah, and I know it's true of Josh or Lindsay or any of that sort of stuff. The goal here is for us to partner with you. So if you're, hey, my student's struggling with this, hey, would you want to ever meet with, yes. My answer is almost always yes. If you need to call me at some weird time, just don't do it for 2 weeks while I'm on paternity. Yeah, call Sarah. Whatever. You want to let me know, hey, Tommy's got some badminton tournament, this weekend. It'd be, he's been talking about it. It'd be real nice if you would come. We want to go. I don't care if it's chess or a musical or whatever. I'll go. I have preferences. I won't name them. And when football gets a little crazy, so it's probably more likely like during football, you're going to see more of other people. And we really highly encourage a lot of our leaders to do that, right? I will try and make it to whatever. We play City and Liberty. It's like, yes, if we had only gotten West on the roster, it would have been way better for us as a schedule. It probably would have been bad for us as a football team. But so it's really fun. Like a lot of guys, I'm going to get a coach against a lot of the guys that like I Bible study with or that come to the nest or whatever. Like I'm excited about that. I want to do that. It's nice because I get to see that. Yeah. Any other questions?
Question just about the fundraiser.
Okay.
Should we be also publicizing to
Please.
our community?
Oh yeah.
Just anyone we know?
Any single human being. There's no altar call. So we were at a bonfire in our neighborhood. Okay, we love our neighbors. We have a really great sort of neighborhood. I love it. I'll not say. We lived in Corville for a long time, and I think I met 2 of our the 6 years we lived there, 4 years or whatever, and we we know all of the people in our neighborhood now is what it feels like. So we were at a bonfire, and it's like, hey, guys, June 6th, you all should come to church. We have a fundraiser. We've got a comedian. You should come. And they're like, oh, yeah. I'm like, there's no altar call. Don't worry about it. Like, we're just having fun. We want you to come and be used to. And then I'm going to invite their kids to VBS. Like, get wrecked. Like, here we go. Right? Your kids want to go to VBS. I don't know what that is. Doesn't matter. It's at the same place we laughed a lot. Let's go. I got to take my kids there. We got to go to the same place. It's all good. So I have to be honest, I haven't watched or listened to a single thing he's done because I don't want to either hype myself up or lower myself down. If I get to go, I'm going to go with a blank slate, and I'm very excited about that. But Rhonda knows. Rhonda is.
There is.
Yep. There's a ton. Speaking.
Postcards.
Oh, sure.
I have a couple postcards actually in our office. And if you want them and you want to pass them out to your neighbors, they have all the information on them. So grab them.
Yep. And there are lots. I have stashed them around. I don't know how many there are at East Campus, but I do know that I left a whole stack in the little metal basket at North Campus. So I got there too late because that's on me and nobody else. And then we have some up here for that.
The Facebook event says that 6 families are going, one of which is mine who will not be there, and then
You never
22
know.
people are interested. So it would be really helpful if you guys would consider coming or even telling your friends. It would be awesome for the kids to go.
The answer is we're going to have fun. You guys, we would love you to be here, but we're going to try and have fun no matter what. So, man, I was going to say other words, and then. Yeah.
I was actually going to say something.
Yep.
For Wednesdays at 6, like when it's at the campus, when it's at the park, I've been trying to, get the emails, but it's always going to be East Campus or at the park on Taylor or.
Okay, I will work on this. I very much want to work on this. So Ronnie is in charge of all of that. So once I can get him to nail down a concrete schedule, I will get it out as quickly as we can. Okay, they're in the same community group. So, so that being said, I mean. Once I know for sure, I will make sure that it gets in an email. And then, so the way that we kind of communicate we do Facebook and Instagram. That's where the vast majority of like very real time sort of information is going to come. We try and put out one email a week that has information. It typically, it goes to some people's spams. Everybody gets 1,000 emails. I mean, I get 1,000 emails on my work email, and so I get it. But those are kind of the 3 main places. You will all have my cell phone number. Call, text, harass me. It's okay. Like, that's my job. That's Sarah's job. If it feels easier to ask Sarah and not me, ask Sarah. If it feels, like in general, like my thing is just ask. Just text me and get after me a little bit, and I promise I'll come through if I can. So.
We do post like weekly, so like all of the things that you can see on here will be on our Instagram or Facebook, even if it's like a recurring event. So like Sunday, people know that we do stuff on Sundays, but we still post it anyway. So we'll try to communicate about stuff as best as possible, but like you said, like it's not our thing to own, so we can't necessarily say like when it's going to be a certain place, or sometimes they move last minute.
This is what I will commit to you this year. We will schedule things, and then we will do the things that we scheduled when we said we will do them. That's what I will commit. That's what I'm in charge of, and we will do that. When those things quite get done, it's going to give me a little bit, and I'll make sure it happens. So. We're gonna get better at that. Yep, we're gonna get better at that.
I start full time June 1st, so
We're-
I will be very punctual corresponding.
We will get better. No.
We have our own personal one.
Yes, and it's like a group, right? It's not even a page. Probably.
Question for Lindsay.
Maybe on
That's-
the email next time, give like what each of those are, so we can make sure we're in that.
Absolutely. And I'm gonna talk to Casey, our admin person this week, and I will get another like, hey, here's a way to like get connected and put all of our links to things. And then maybe even this stuff too, just in case you lose this.
Not the right thing. Okay, I'll write that down. Okay, so we said. Okay. Anything else?
So all of your kids are getting gift bags tonight with some goodies from us, and in that is actually a card with our contact information already in it. So just ask them, and then if you're on our email list, I'll put our contact information in there too, so you'll get like all the coverage digitally. There's the canned copy as well, and then if you're like still not sure, find me afterwards. And just
The other thing is, I have been going to both Central and North Campus. I need to make an appearance at East Campus. So if you somehow miss that, I will be there, I promise. Okay, somewhere, some shape, some way. So just find me and tell me. The last thing I would say is I love feedback. Don't be afraid to hurt my feelings. If you think there's a thing that I could do better or that we could be doing better, the worst, and there are two things, right? The worst thing for your students' faith is that they have unasked questions. It will kill their faith. They'll kill it from the stem, and they'll just walk through life, and they'll be like, my parents never told me this, or they were too scared, or whatever, and then they'll get to somebody who will have a slightly different answer than the one that we know is true, and it'll just wreck their life. And the second thing is, if there's something that we're doing that you guys frustrated with, wish we could do better, need to do better, you think it could be fun if we did this, just let me know. Just let me know. Let me know. Let me know. I love feedback in all of its shapes. It can be sometimes hard to take, and I get that, but I love it. I need it because that's the way we get better. And ultimately, my job, our job here is to serve you guys. So if we are underperforming in an area and we don't know, we'll never overperform in that area. So let us know so we can excel, so we can get better. Yeah.
Just really quick, so both of us lead Bible studies and disciple students, but we do like different kinds. So, like just to kind of clarify, like the range of content that we might go through ranges from kid to kid. So, like I'm discipling a girl, her and I are going through a lot of like theological apologetic things that are really deep. And then I'm leading Bible studies with girls that quite aren't there. So if you like know your kid and you're like, I want my child to, get deeper in these things, like we want to be able to do that to you. So there's not like, we're not unwilling. We will do just about anything to get your kids connected to really just love Jesus. And I just wanted to clarify that because I didn't want you guys to think that like, okay, we're just going to do Bible study. It's just going to be like very basic topical things. Like I know that you go deep with some boys too really well as well. So
We've been going through
there's
Ecclesiastes.
a range of like categories and topics and things that we go through. I'm about to start in a Bible study. We're going to go through. They wanted to talk about relationships, so we're going to be reading books about relationships. So if you want to pray for me, that'd be really awesome. So I don't think there's anything off the table. It's just clarifying what he was saying.
Yep.
Any other questions? Or if you have questions for me, just fine.
There always comes a point in time in one of these meetings where it's like everybody looks at each other and it's like, don't ask a question. I'm trying to go home. Okay. I would love to. Let's pray and then, Dear Heavenly Father, I just thank you for this time we got to spend together and just for all these parents, for anybody who's going to watch this later. God, I'm just thankful that they care, that they're here. We love this. We love them. And we love their kids. And God, just allow us to really partner well together, to really do this parenting thing together. It takes a village, and it really, truly does. It takes just a large group of adults who love and care for kids to just show the truth of who you are and just do those sorts of things together. And so God, I pray that you continue to build them up. I know all of these families are going through difficult things in their own ways and their own shapes and all that sort of stuff. And nobody's life is perfect here. And so I just ask that you draw yourself very near to them and that you just walk with them through all the ups and downs of junior high and any of the kids that are going into high school, or just through the fear and stress of COVID and all of that sort of stuff. So God, I thank you so much for Jesus and for what his death and resurrection meant for us. God, let us never forget your love and who you are, and what you did for us. In Jesus' name, amen. All right.